Hello team and welcome back to the channel. So in today's session we are going to cover optimization of pipelines, and what you see on the screen are 4 pipelines which we have optimized. So even though the stages of the pipeline of the stages of the each pipeline is same, but we have optimized it in such a way that it can reduce the time, plus also it's going to reduce the cost. For example, you can see the first pipeline which ran for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Second pipeline we optimized it for the first time, it ran for 34 seconds. Third pipeline which we optimized again with few more techniques, so it ran for 33 seconds. And final pipeline which we optimized, and it ran for 26 seconds, and it did not execute any of the unnecessary stages, right? So this is what you are going to learn today in practical. So make sure to watch this whole video, understand all the concepts, and make sure to implement it on your machine, right? So yeah, with that being said, let's get started. Tim, now let us understand day 26, which is about cost optimization and efficiency. So in GitLab, cost mainly comes from 3 main factors, which are runner compute usage. For example, let's say that we are using a runner with 8V CPU and around 16 GB of RAM. Okay, and this we are using for a simple linting job. Okay, now you can understand that if we have a task that is going to be doing simply linting, then instead of using this big VM, we could simply use a 1 CPU and 2 GB RAM based VM as a runner, and this is going to make sure the cost will be less. But if you use a bigger machine, the cost will be very high. So depending on what kind of task you want to execute in your pipeline, you can choose specific kind of runners, right? Secondly, we have pipeline execution time. Let us say that we have a pipeline that runs for 30 minutes, right? Why it is taking 30 minutes? Because all the jobs that are inside our pipeline are going to get executed sequentially, right? But if you are using things like caching, parallel jobs, right, as well as needs keyword, we can actually reduce the time duration of the pipeline to 10 minutes, right? So this is also very helpful because eventually this is going to cost us a little bit more money, right? Similarly, we have third factor, which is storage for artifacts, logs, and caching. Let us say an example where we are building an artifacts that we are going to be storing for 90 days, right? Even though they are only required for the deployment just for 7 days, right? So you can understand that old cache and large job logs also continue consuming storage. So we should make sure that if you are like keeping artifacts and logs and cache, try to keep it for lesser days as per the requirement, not like very high days like 90 days, right? Now let us understand some of the key cost factors in CI/CD. First thing, we inside that key factor we have pipeline runtime. Okay, so basically if you have a longer job, it's going to cost you more as compared to jobs that are very short, right? Secondly, number of jobs. So if we have more number of jobs, let's say we have more jobs, which is going to be equal to more parallel runners, right? And if you are using multiple runners in parallel, it's going to again cost us more. Parallelism we have already covered in previous sessions, right? Third thing that you need to understand, third key factor we have, which is runner type. Okay, so basically if we are using shared runner, it will be having a lot of limitations, right? And it will be much slower. But if we are using self-hosted runner, means using our own private VM as a runner, we can actually control the cost, right? Next factor we have, which is artifacts and cache storage. So large artifact, if you are using large, like if you're generating large artifact and you are storing it for longer days, obviously it's going to increase the storage, and that's what going to increase the cost as well, right? Next thing that we need to understand about is how we can optimize a runner on which our jobs run, right? So first of all, we already know types of runner: shared runner and specific runner, that we can create our own, like we can use our own VM as a runner, right? So what are the optimization techniques? Okay, firstly, if you are using shared runner, try to use lightweight images, right? So that your job that is getting executed inside a Docker container, that container should be of very small size. For example, instead of using huge Ubuntu image, we could simply use Alpine image, which is much smaller inside. For example, Ubuntu image, it could be like, let's say 500 MB, while Alpine images, it generally is 5 MB. So you can understand the difference here as well, right? Second optimization technique that you need to know is avoid reinstalling dependencies. You know, if you are, let's say, like multiple times we are trying to build something, so again and again we are installing the dependencies, but we could actually avoid that by using cache, so that instead of installing all the project dependencies again and again, we can simply install it one time and then use it later on from the cache, right? Similarly, we should be using caching in Docker layer as well, right? And that you already know, Docker caching, you already know that it's going to speed up the building significantly, right? Also, limit the parallel jobs, right? So basically, you know, if you are having a lot of parallel jobs, then you can understand, in order to run multiple jobs in parallel, more runners will be required, which is going to cost a lot, right? So if you are keeping too many parallel jobs, it's going to eventually get high cost. So try to avoid that as well, right? Now, so let me show you practically how we can actually optimize the time as well as optimize the cost for our pipelines. So let me show you practically all these things. So now let us start with the demo part, where first we are going to create a pipeline that is inefficient, and then we are going to make it efficient. So I have created this repository. So let us create a pipeline. Right, I'll start with the 0 template. Okay, now this is a basic three stage pipeline I have written. Build, test, deploy. We are using the base image for our runner as Ubuntu. You can see everywhere, right? Also, you can see that in build stage as well as in test stage, we are installing dependencies multiple times, right? Here one time, here one time, right? So here this is a inefficient pipeline. Why? So there are like 4 main points you need to understand how it's inefficient. First, we are using a heavy image, right? As I told you, we should be using a small size image for our runner, right? Secondly, we are reinstalling dependencies, right? You can see here also we are installing, and here also we are installing, right? That is problem. Thirdly, there are sequential execution, right? There are like proper order. First build will be executed, then test will be done, then deploy will be executed. There are no parallelism at this point, right? Fourthly, there is no caching, right? There is no caching in it. So yeah, these are the problems in this inefficient pipeline. So let us wait for this to complete. Let's see how much time does it take, and then we are going to make it an optimized pipeline. How we can make it better, we will see that. So team, the pipeline got completed. It took about like 1 minute 30 seconds, right? Now let us modify this, and let us make our pipeline an optimized pipeline. Here, what thing we have using? First of all, we are using a better image, very small size image. Secondly, we are enabling the cache also. Thirdly, one time we are installing the dependencies for our project. In the test stage, we are going to write needs build. This is going to make sure that whatever dependencies we are available here, they will be available inside test stage as well. Okay, so let us run this. Also in deploy stage, we have clearly defined that this stage will be executed only, this deploy job will be executed only if the branch is main. So let us commit these changes, and let's trigger the pipeline, and let's see how much time does it take. So team, that pipeline is also completed, and as you can see, that pipeline took around just 34 seconds. So there is a huge difference between this timing also, based between inefficient pipeline versus an optimized pipeline, right? Now we are going to add few more things, which is going to be timeout and artifact optimizations. First, let me quickly explain to you what exactly it is, so that we can write it down, right? So this is one part that we can add in our pipeline. So basically the key idea about this is that we have written timeout 5 minutes, right? Which basically controls how long this job can run, right? Secondly, we have also adding artifacts, which is going to define what files to store after a job finishes, right? So now the code will become something a little bit different. Let me modify the code now. Right, same code, but we have just added this timeout and artifacts. So let me commit the changes, right? And now let's see how it goes. So Tim, this pipeline is also completed, and this time we should be having some kind of artifacts as well. And still it took lesser time, right? Now we are going to add one more thing inside our pipeline, which makes it little bit better. So basically, let's say that here we can see we have a stage named test. Now let's say that I'm modifying something else and not modifying any of the source code. So in that case, there is no point in executing the test cases, right? So we can basically set up a condition which says that if there are changes in src folder or requirement.txt file, then only execute the test cases, right? This will make sure if there are changes in some other files like readme file or some environment variables files, so in that case we don't need to execute test cases, right? So this will make sure test job will be executed only if there are actual changes that needs to be tested, right? So let us commit these changes, right? So let's wait for this to complete. Now, interestingly, guys, you can see that this pipeline that we just ran, it got completed in 26 seconds, much lesser than what we did in the first run, right? So how did it happen? Because here it did not execute the test cases stage. Why? Because there were no changes that required to be tested. So this is a very good option and these are the quite good ways using which you can actually modify your pipeline to make it much better, to reduce the duration as well as reduce the cost, right? So make sure to check out, you can refer the documentation. And now thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day, everyone. Also, team, before we get started, just to let you know, batch 14 of DevSecOps, Cloud DevOps, and AI is available for enrollment. You can check out all the details in the description. But in short, if I tell you what exactly is included in the course, so it has 200 plus hours of content with AI included. AI part, we are still adding more and more content so that you can get latest content. Plus, our Udemy course is also included within this course. Make sure to check it out. All the details will be in the description. And if you have any queries, you can reach out on the WhatsApp contact.